Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to Daily Update, my 1000 days challenge. This is day 233, 34. Yeah, just let me update. And yeah, so basically you can see the equity is actually down quite a bit, and it's actually 150 from the experimental trade setup. So do bear in mind, like what I mentioned, you can see experimental trade setup. The reason why it's experimental is because right now it's still not being so-called easily established in the sense that the drawdowns still tend to be a little bit larger than expected. In fact, if you recall, I think even a couple of months back, it was actually negative to 400, and then we reached a peak of say 400, I think, on the day 205, and then right now we are again in another drawdown period, back to almost break even actually. So yeah, so that's something to always bear in mind, that the experimental trade setup is experimental for a reason on that sense. All right, otherwise, in terms of the main trading setup, nothing has changed, no position was closed, but basically the reason for the experimental trade, the losses came in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Link. So all three of them, like what I mentioned, right now they're a little bit choppy. So entering on a 1 hour chart wasn't exactly ideal because of the smaller, tighter stop loss in that sense. So I'll just review it, but I've still have a couple of trades that's been open in the experimental trade setup as well. So of course, you could just really well go back to negative again. So that's something to always bear in mind. And yeah, otherwise, in terms of the market structure update, as you know, today is a Monday. So Bitcoin actually closes with actually still remaining a bullish market structure on the weekly chart. Technically speaking, because we still close, we didn't form a lower low just yet. And but bearing in mind that if you look in terms of individual candlesticks here, we do see some sign of exhaustion. However, potentially, I would say that it could potentially be a very nice consolidation region if we do consolidate above this 20 exponential moving average weekly chart, which is currently at 39.6K region, or if you look at the one that's really close, is actually at 37.8K region. So this week, if we actually maintain around here or even go up a little bit higher, then we will cross the 40K mark on the 20 moving exponential moving average, which will be a really great sign in that sense. However, if we do have a very sharp drawdown in that sense and we retest over here and find support, it'll be really great because over here you can see that it first acted as a resistance before we break through it. So potentially we retest this support both at the horizontal support and also at the 20 exponential moving average on the weekly chart. It'll be a really strong support. So I'll definitely be looking to add more if it does come near the 40K mark again. All right. Otherwise, you also show signs of consolidation because of the decrease in volume so far. Even though we are making higher highs, we are actually not making much of a higher volume over here, especially these 1 week, 2 week, and 3 weeks. So since the start of March, we've actually been somewhat like a consolidating, I would say. Yep, otherwise, in terms of the position-wise, I entered over here. And on a 4-hour chart, you could potentially choose to close it, but for me, I'm still a little bit more bullish on the shorter time frame, say on a 4-hour and a daily chart, simply because even though we rejected off this 50 simple moving average, I did mention that worst case scenario, I'll just let it ride this stop loss, or alternatively, I would just choose to close profit when it closes below, which you can choose to close your profit over, take your stop loss over here, which is in the break even, or even over here itself. So for me, I'm a little bit more aggressive simply because I just felt that it was a little bit, just wanted to just let it hit a stop loss. But over here, actually did consider taking the profit as well, even though it was nicely rejected. I wouldn't suggest shorting it simply because overall we are still above the 200 simple moving average on the 4-hour chart. And of course, you can see that even though we were rejected 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4th time, and in fact, it's the 5th time we are rejecting on the 4-hour chart, yet we're still varying very much away from it until now, which we do see some stronger sign of bearish momentum, especially the increased volume. And in fact, we have reached above the previous candlestick, and we still have 1.5 hours to go, which is close to like almost half of the time frame for the 4-hour chart itself. So this will be a very interesting to see how this price candlestick close. If it does close with somewhat like this, like bearish candle, let's say in 1.5 hours later, I'll very much be likely to close at least half of my position in terms of price action wise. Otherwise, that's more or less about it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.